Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Angelic Alchemy Meenakshi, and I am here to share some important messages that I received with respect to the collective and the energies that we are feeling right now, and the work that we can do to sustain, not just sustain ourselves, but really rebuild from where we are after releasing and cleansing ourselves individually as well as the collective. So, a little bit about myself. I am a holistic healer or spiritual mentor. You can find more about me on my website, angelicalchemyholistichealing.com. And I am on various channels, which is YouTube, where you're watching me right now, as well as Facebook. So let's begin by talking about this year. We are in March, and it feels like the last 2 months just flew by. And I would say instead of flew by, I think they were fired away. And I'm here today to discuss more about what can happen with the energy of fire, which is represented by the sun, which is this year, 2026. I've already made a video about it in November last year, as well as a guided meditation in the beginning of this year to help in channeling the organic purity of that energy of the sun, as well as the fire horse, in such a way that we lead our lives with compassion. And that's the energy that we emanate around. On the other side, if we don't do that, the energy of the sun and the lion energy, okay, this is how it is related. This is the year 2026. Very quickly, I don't want to go too much into it because we've already sort of mentioned it before. The year 2026 adds up to number one, and number one in astrology is the sun. It represents the sun. So this is the year of the sun, as well as per Chinese astrology, this is the year of the fire horse, not just any other element. It is the fire horse. So it's the same energy as that of the sun. In Hinduism, the sun god is also represented by a chariot driven by horses. So look at how it all just ties together in different cultures as well. So this energy that is coming through right now can be harnessed and used, alchemized in a very beautiful, positive way to create for creation individually as well as for the collective. However, what happens when this energy channels through someone who's not working in service to others and who is imbalanced and does not hold any love and compassion for others? This energy can then be lopsided. The energy of the sun, without any balance within them of love and compassion and inner work, then that lopsides that person's ego and gives them hyper ego, as well as it gives them an impulsive nature to take actions without thinking them through from every angle. Similarly, the energy of the fire horse, horses as well, their energy is very primordial, it's very raw. And if you don't channel that energy in the right way, the horses can, run havoc as well. They won't know what to do with that energy. And so that energy needs to be channeled properly as well into a proper organic direction and to be used as an alchemy to activate progress in the right manner for the collective so that the collective can move forward in a positive way, in a healthy way, in a safe and protected way. It can be done. However, for that, everyone, especially at the top, needs to be balanced within their mind, body, and soul. And so when all of this chaotic energy surrounds us at this moment, you look around, it's almost like there's a big grand show going on. And the sorcerer, it's usually a magician, but I'll say the sorcerer is bringing out all the tricks, right? And they're like, oh, look here, I have a rabbit here, look at this. And everybody looks at that and accordingly expresses emotions to whatever's been shown and disclosed at that time. That's the correct term for it. And then all the emotions are at an all-time high. And then once the collective has expressed certain emotions, then they'll throw another, trick in the way. Look at the sky. Look what we're doing here. Everybody starts looking there. The perspective of the collective shifts. So you see what's happening here is basically we've been told where to look. We've been told to look here and there so that we forget what we're actually meant to do and we forget what is actually being hidden and we take our sight off of that. And when that happens, now more than ever, that it is important that we start looking within, not just our own consciousness individually, but that of the collective consciousness and see how we can contribute towards bringing about peace and balance. Okay. Now, of course, it is taken for granted that the people that are working for light are holding space, making powerful intentions and doing whatever they can, alchemically to, uh, there goes, there goes a bell. So confirmation. We're doing everything that we can to, hold balance, peace, bring about love, and hold space for all the collective that are actually hurt in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Now, that being said, with all of that work that is being done, which we do at all times, we also have to look within to see what is hiding. And so when that happens, we need to go in deeper. So far, we've been doing a lot of healings, and I've shared in prior videos as well, where we need to look within, look at the root cause, and then release from there, and then, fill in that empty space with a new activation and then move forward. This time, it's next level. This time, we're going to the subconscious mind, individually as well as for the collective. Yes, we're looking at the root causes, but the root causes sometimes are deeper than we see them. They are deep, deep down in the subconscious mind of the collective. And so I had a dream connected to this where I think I was with one of my guides and they were saying something, and I don't remember what they said. And I said, "Oh, really?" And, you know, let me take a look. And then plop, I just jumped into the ocean. And then I was swimming. I think I did have a guide with me. I was swimming just a foot under the ocean, okay, under the top of the ocean. And as I jumped in, the first thing I noticed was it was very heavy to even move my arms around. That's how heavy that was. And just to give it a perspective, when we see huge bodies of water in our dream time, it basically symbolizes the collective consciousness. So big oceans, huge lakes, rivers, they all symbolize the collective consciousness and where the consciousness of the collective is at that time. And when we dive in, we're going into the consciousness to see what's going on. And so I was 1 foot under the water swimming, and as I was reaching out, expanding my arms around, I felt that, it was really heavy in there. But the beauty is, as soon as I felt something that was restrictive, it was immediately corrected or alchemized. So as soon as I felt, oh, this is heavy, for my arms and shoulders to push through, immediately it just changed and I could swim through like butter, like I was just going through butter. And then I noticed that the waters were muddy, they were murky, and they were dark, and I couldn't really see as much as I would have liked to have seen. And as soon as I had that thought in my mind, lo behold, there was light, and the whole ocean was lit up, almost like you see in the swimming pool. You can see the bottom of the swimming pools, and I could see the base of the ocean from where I was, which is like almost at the top of the ocean, all the way down to the base, all of the gunk, everything that was stored there for eons, millions of years of the collective consciousness. And as we were looking at it, and I'm pretty sure I was not the only one, maybe there were many other people doing this as well, and they're doing it at different time intervals as well. But this is just my experience that I'm sharing. So if you've had similar experiences, you'll be able to relate, or, if it can help you understand what is happening with the collective consciousness and what can we do with this chaotic energy that we are seeing up and about everywhere. Okay, we just have to be productive and alchemize, alchemize, and alchemize. And then, so with the light, I could see to the bottom of the ocean, and they were literally bodies of people quite neatly stacked in rows at the bottom of the ocean. So this is like the people that are still sleeping, or their consciousness is still sleeping, and they were like passed out. There was a lot of gunk, and as we were going through, all of this darkness was turning to light, and people were waking up as well from, whatever was going on. And so we swam through this entire ocean, came to the end of it somehow. We knew that was the end. There was a portal or something. And then we came up. And as I came up, there was like a window and a door, and there was a guardian, portal guardian there. And I said, okay, I'm done. And the guardian, their jaw just dropped, and they said, "Did you just swim through this ocean?" And I said, "Yes, I did." "Why?" They said, "Do you know the current right now is hundreds of nautical miles per hour?" And I said, "Really? Okay, whatever." And, we're done with what we had to do, and I'm out of here. And so I left there, and I didn't give it any thought. And then when I woke up, I was like, oh, I got to find out more about this. So usually when there is high tide and, storms in the ocean, apparently the nautical miles per hour of the current at that time and the winds is between 2 to 8. And here she was talking about hundreds of miles per hour. And she said that nautical miles per hour current. And so like they try to put a measurement to the current that is flowing through us right now in terms of the energy that is out there that we are dealing with right now. Okay. And you can tell, like every time you look at something, the emotions come up. You look at something else, then emotions come up for that as well. So there is turmoil right now. And they literally gave like a ballpark figure of how strong the currents are right now. Okay. And so we're working through that. And it's no joke that we're working through this. But just remember that we are all masters. We are all here to remember that we've done this before. And we are being guided by our beautiful spirit guides, our beautiful divine teams that are here protecting us, as well as guiding us throughout the way. Sometimes on asking, and sometimes you don't ask. It just comes through because they can see we need it. So that's what we're doing right now. So if you've not already started working on it, I highly recommend going within your subconscious mind and seeing what is laying there. So you can start releasing those chains of repression, the systems that, have laid their imprints on you, anything that does not resonate anymore. Just go through it and start releasing it. And the bodies that we see out there are also versions of ourselves that don't exist anymore. It's kind of like the snake. When the snake sheds its skin, you cannot go back into that skin anymore. So the person that we were before waking up, before the work that we're doing right now, we cannot be that person again ever. So there's no point saving the body. You just with grace send it back to your higher self and release it, or at the most it just, that body itself gets activated into the new version of you. But you don't need to hang on to it as a treasure that you need to keep looking at. You need to release it so that you can then get activated and upgraded to the new you that has to be birthed. And boy, are the rebirths in this year powerful. With all of everything that's going around us and this subconscious healing that we are doing, what's going to happen with all of the pressure that is being put on the collective right now? There is a law of physics. With every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. What happens? We get activated further to fight that back, to protect ourselves, to activate ourselves, remember the wisdom that we were holding within ourselves in the subconscious mind, deeply hidden. Okay. So what has come out of it? There's been a rise of the dark warrior goddesses. And where did they arrive from? Did they arrive from somewhere outside of us? Well, to some extent they will, but for the most part, they are here within us. They get activated from within us with all of the subconscious mind programming, everything that's going on, especially the dark warrior goddesses. That is where they are. That's what they do. That's what they are experts of. They're experts of helping us release chains of oppressions, dark cords, anything that's suppressing and oppressing and holding us back. They help us release that, and they help us fight these spiritual wars, these energetic wars. And they rise from within us. And that is exactly what is happening. Okay. I personally experienced it during dream time, as well as during my own personal inner work, through healing of clients, as well as Akashic Records readings that have happened for clients. It has come through with also, sometimes prior to my sharing something with the client of what I found, they came back and they said that they saw certain, deities, goddesses, guides, spirit guides, and it completely, matched what I had seen in the session as well. So the divine forces of kalimaa, goddess Tara, the fierce form of Tara, Durga Ma, Norse goddess Freya, Morrigan Fae, they're all rising from within the beings that are already here on earth. And they are ready. And they're not playing. They are not playing. Okay? It's like diamonds being formed under pressure. So this is what happens. That's what we do. We create from the chaotic energy. We create creations. That's what Divine Mother does. Even if there's chaos, she can turn that chaos into a creative energy and create from it. She can create music. She can create lives. She can create planets, whatever she wants. And so the Divine Mother is here to answer that call, because Earth itself is not just a planet. It is the Divine Mother's embodiment. It is an embodiment of the Divine Mother. And of course, she's going to answer the call. Of course, the dark goddesses are going to stand up for herself and to take care of herself, to protect herself, to protect her children. She is here and she is wild. And there is sacred rage to the next level. I have known kalimaa forever now, but I have never seen her in the form that I have seen her lately. Boy, you've got to see her if you connect with her. She is wild. She is wild. I love it. I love it. I think I've fallen more in love with her now than before. She is so powerful. And there's so much knowledge and wisdom that they are activating from within us. Strength. They're making us fearless. They're activating strength. They're activating that innate knowledge and wisdom, that knowing that we always had of ancient teachings. They are the teachers of teachers. They're the masters of everything. They know every trick that the sorcerer has. They know every trick that these dark magicians have. They know every trick that is being played out by the ones that are showing the tricks in the collective right now. They know it. They don't just know it. They have the antidote to every single one of them. Okay, it's just a matter of time. And it is happening now. It's happening now in real time. And it is happening parallelly in all parallel lives as well. Because I've seen that through, quantum travels as well. So whatever's happening here is also happening in other dimensions, other parallel realities, other parallel Earths as well. So let me see if there are any more messages. Yes, also connected to the dream that I had about the subconscious mind. When they were explaining to me, they kept saying, it's the great reset, it's the great reset. So we are literally inching away, moving towards that reset, towards, ascension in a way, because ascension was supposed to happen in layers. This is why we always said it's not like there's going to be one big event and everyone, boom, is going to ascend to, the next dimension, the next consciousness level. It's going to happen in stages. And this is a very important stage for that. The other thing I wanted to share about the dark warrior goddess mother and that energy of the womb. I had a beautiful client who is an engineer by profession and very left-brained from that point of view. He's also an atheist. And, he just came for a couple of sessions, and we were just talking. And during the session, even atheists, they know where they come from. They know within them where they were birthed from. It's just a matter of making that contact and that connection, and they connect in a different way. Okay, they have their own ways of doing it. And this beautiful client, during his session, when he woke up, I said, because from my side, what I saw was this was Angelic Reiki. From my side, what I saw was that he was going through some sort of a cleansing, a very deep cleansing. And they said that we are rebuilding some of his codes and like a rebirth for him. Okay, that's a word that they kept using. And I had it in my notes. And he wakes up and I said, so how was it for you? And he said that he loves going into the cosmos and he does that on his own. And this time he went into the cosmos, into like a big void, and there was like nothing there but stillness. And he remembers within that stillness of him going into a fetal position, like a baby. And he said throughout the session, that's how he was. And then he woke up and he came out of it. He had a lot of other beautiful visions where he saw, different planets and stuff like that. That's a different story altogether. But that's what it was. He went into the beautiful womb of the Divine Mother. It's just innate. It's just always there. It never goes away. This wisdom never goes away. The sense of knowing never goes away, no matter what your belief system is. It's just a matter of tapping in, and you could be tapping in different ways. Okay. So that's what it is. We're working with the subconscious mind, doing deep healings. And through the subconscious mind and deep healings, the dark warrior goddess mothers have been activated. And it's not like they were sleeping or, inactive. They were always there. They were always doing what they had to do, but now they're activated within the beings that are here, and so they'll be playing an active role through their energies, through the force and the strength that they're going to work through. So welcome to them. What else did I have to share today? I'd written, it's like the diamonds forming through pressure or other crystals, and so we rise. We rise. The other dream that I had, I really want to share this dream because it's important. Everywhere you go, and also from clients, we keep hearing about, oh, I'm being tested. I'm being tested. Here's another test. I'm so exhausted of this. When are we going next level? So I had a dream, and in my dream, I was walking through almost like a university, and there were different rooms. And as I was going through the rooms, I had the Divine Mother with me, and she was taking me through different rooms. And as I was going through the rooms, I could see, the various journals that people were working on. And I was like, okay, in my mind, I was like, okay, I've studied that. I know that. I know. It was basically university level stuff that I'd studied here in the physical. I was like, okay, I know that. I know this part. I know this stuff. And then we were just walking through it. And I was wondering what the test is going to be. I knew I was going for a test. Okay. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I know this stuff. I know this stuff. I know this stuff. And then she's like, oh, not here. Not here. I was like, oh, I know this stuff. Not here. Next room. And then she takes me to another room. And then I'm given like, what do you call it? So I'm given a journal to start writing what I know about a certain topic. And the topic is something that I don't know anything about. I think it was music. So I don't know anything about music. I've never studied music. You know, who doesn't like listening to music? But I'm not a singer. I'm not a musician. And I was like, whoa, I don't know this stuff. And she looked at me and she said, but you do. Just keep writing what you know. I was like, okay. And, I just started writing. Once I was done, there were others giving the same test. Once I was done, she said, now look at your papers and, just check your points, check what you've written and, what do you think? And I said, okay, where's the key? And she said, key to what? I said, where's the key to all the answers that we can compare and make sure that we got it right or wrong, whatever it is and what we need to learn. And then there's another guy there and he said, well, that's the point. There is no key. There is no key. Whatever you're doing is right. Just keep going. Just show up. That's the answer. Just show up. Be there. That's all that's required of you. As long as you show up, as long as you're there, holding space, that's all that matters. You don't need to know XYZ, ABC, everything. It doesn't matter. And even if you do need to know, it will come up. It'll come through your subconscious mind. I've had dreams where I've been singing in languages that I'm unaware of here, like beautiful angelic tones, which I can't do over here. But, I've seen myself on the other side as myself, remembering those, music tones, and feeling activated myself, just activating myself through them. And so that's what it is. That knowledge and wisdom is always there. We just need to remember and tap into it. And even if we don't remember, in the way we lead our life and the decisions that we make, the things that we choose, how we prioritize our life, we just exude that energy. That energy, we emanate it. So that's all that is required of us, to just be there, to just show up. That is the answer to all tests. Everything you need to know, you will be taught or you will be made to remember. That's all it is, okay? The other thing that I wanted to share was also horses are so big, of course. Like this is a year. I did start seeing horses, I think end of last year, maybe in the last quarter, a lot of horses just galloping, beautiful horses. However, this year, how I was seeing the horses was horses just coming through to do healings. So obviously we imagine horses just running, galloping, freedom, moving forward energy. But at this point in the dream time, I saw them healing. So whatever's hurting within you, whatever needs balance within you, you can work with the energy of the horses because they hold that sacred wisdom. They come from the unicorns and they come from magical lands. And it's just that the world that we live in right now will not accept or understand, a horse with wings, which is Pegasus, or unicorns. So they come in as horses, just like we are here in our human forms, but we may be coming from different dimensions and we are connected with ascended masters. We're connected with gods and goddesses. We're connected with higher spirit beings. So the horses are here to heal us. And in the dream time, I saw the horses like literally with their tongues healing people, with their breath healing people. Like they would just put their head or their forehead on a part of someone's body and just be. And that energy would just transmit through them. So calming and beautiful. I've never felt that kind of energy before. And then just, forehead to forehead activations of the third eye, of the pineal glands, of wisdom just flowing through them as they connect with our third eye. It was just magical. These beings are just magical. So if you haven't done yet, you can, talk to your guides and ask them to help you connect with the spirit of the horse and the spirit of the magical horses that are here now healing. And I've personally experienced detailed healing by them. And it's so beautiful. I've never felt like that in my life before. I even had that feeling when I woke up for a long time. It stayed with me. I just couldn't get over it. It was so beautiful. So yes, that's what we're doing now with all of the pressure that is around us. We are rebuilding ourselves. We are recreating and touching base with that inner wisdom and activating ourselves at a higher dimensional level. And no one can stop that. That's the message that came through the lion spirit in the last guided meditation that I made. I am unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. So now is the time to really rebuild on those new gifts. New gifts are coming online, new missions are beginning, and whatever you need for those new missions will be shown to you, will be activated within you. These activations and initiations are happening directly from our spirit guides, directly from our higher selves, directly from source. So they're even more powerful than anything else that you can get here on earth through any teacher, any guide. So just go for it. Just connect with that version of yourself, rebuild yourself, start your new missions, and go for it. Go for it and channel that energy of the beautiful sun, the lion, and the fire horse in the most beautiful, productive, positive way for the highest outcome of all, especially children. So let's hold space for a collective, for peace, love, compassion, harmony, balance, and a forward moving energy in a very creative way. We can do this because we are unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. Thank you, everyone. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you.